So, it's your boy, Chris, the Hickory Algorithm, coming to you today with another video pod. Today, we're joined by Martha and Rodney
Pegues.
Jeez,
It's
my first day. It's my first day.
It'll come to
But, man, I want to tell you, I'm so excited for today. These two guys, Rodney and his wife, Martha, are some of the best cooks that I've ever been around. And I'm so excited to share just what they put into their food today and what makes it just top tier that's around here. So, Rodney, Martha, thanks for coming today.
Hello.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
What do you think sets you guys apart when it comes to catering?
For me, it'll be we take pride in what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we and a lot of places, not taking anything from anyone here, but we season and take time for our food.
Yeah.
So that's how I think that set us aside from others.
Yeah. And I think, man, I think it comes back to a lot of the culture that you guys put in your food. I mean, your love. I mean, Martha, how did you come across as far as just what goes into your food? How much love? Because, man, I tell you what, it's so apparent when I eat your food that you guys put so much thought and fresh ingredients in the things that you do. So how does that all just sort of come together and into plate form? How would you say, how does that even start?
Well, I grew up with good, loving food from home. And so that just translates into dishes that I prepare. And I think about how my mom and dad would cook, and the food was just so good. And we have family gatherings, everybody just enjoyed the food. And so that's how I want to put food out to people, for them to enjoy it, and knowing that they're going to get fresh ingredients, good seasoned food. And, you can't just rush good tasting food.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take your time with it.
Yeah. And I even go back to when I went to my son's football game at Hickory High, and I'll never forget Rodney was there. Like, he was in with Northview, and he's doing his thing. And there's just this, you guys have this huge smoker that you had on the back of your truck.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you making, man? And you opened it up. I was like, hot dogs. And we laugh at that. But that tells me everything I ever needed to know about how much, because it could have just been hot dogs, right? It could have just been on a roller. It could have just, like, no. If you guys are going to cook, you're going to bring the big guns, and we're going to make sure this food tastes as good as it possibly can.
Yeah.
And like, when I came to see you, we were laughing, but your boy had to get some hot dogs. You know what I mean? When I saw it,
hot dogs.
yeah. But even hot dogs, and you guys make, what is it, the hibiscus tea that you make as well? I mean, it's not like you guys are just, the events that you cater and the food that you have. It's everything that you make has a personal touch from something.
Yeah.
That hibiscus tea, we have our videographer, John Yang. He loves it. I mean, he called you guys like right before Thanksgiving, before you guys went down to San Antonio, just to get some of that hibiscus tea. So what is in that hibiscus tea?
Yes.
Without too much insider baseball.
Yes, I fresh brewed the tea from the hibiscus flower, and it has fresh ginger, fresh lemons, cloves, and cinnamon. And it's a pretty much 24-hour process to make the tea, and everyone loves it. And I do unsweetened, also sweetened. And with the unsweetened, people can sweeten it with agave or honey if they choose Splenda, or just drink it unsweetened.
Mm-hmm. So when you make tea for somebody, if someone says, hey, I want a couple bottles of tea, will you ask them what sweetener they want in it?
No, with the unsweetened, I'll just leave it unsweetened. That way they
you.
can sweeten it the way they would like to sweeten it.
So
Yes.
when you guys cook, is there a method to the madness? Because I know when I cooked with Jen in the kitchen, I'm normally the person, like, I'm not really allowed to cook the things. I'm allowed to cut the things up and put them in the, and separate them and sort of help her with all she does. do you guys have a process of like, do you smoke the meats and then, you do the sides? Is that sort of how that goes? So
Mainly.
what all do you smoke? Like what, just start brisket? I'm going to go by the ones I've tried.
Brisket, ribs, Boston butts, turkeys, chickens. I mean, any meat. It's just any meat. We got this new thing that we're going to be doing, and on the boards that we're
The
coming with.
charcuterie, is that what you guys posted last night online?
Yes, that's a new thing we're going to do, the charcuterie boards with, but it's going to specialize with his smoked meats.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just any kind of meats and some sides. You can smoke. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like
And then
macaroni and cheese and vegetables, smoke them.
Yeah.
And like the collard greens, the mac and cheese, is that all you, Martha? Is that pretty much what you guys?
Yes, I usually do all the sides, and Rodney does the smoked meats. And with us working out of the Hickory Sandwich Shop on Old Lenore Road, the commercial kitchen, so it gives us a big space to work out of, and that's where people can find us at 1050 Old Lenore Road, Hickory. And so, I pretty much let him work on the meats, and then I do the sides. But with us infusing together, like I'll use his smoked meats and the pork pies that I do. So he does smoking of the pork, and I make the handmade cornbread crust for the pies. And then for the I can't even think of the name, the Brunswick stew, I use his smoked pork and his smoked beef to make the Brunswick stew. So both parts of us in dishes like that works out really good.
We got you guys deep fried a turkey for us and gave us some sides, but you handed me 2 jars of, one was turkey gravy, and I didn't know what the other one was. It was like it had beans, but here's the thing: you created something that I wasn't expecting. It was almost like a bean and turkey.
The white chicken chili.
Oh, dude, that was like that was eaten while we were waiting to warm up the other stuff. But I wasn't expecting really you guys. How many dishes now have you guys come up with together? It has
160.
to be 160 on the nose. So did you finally like sit down and just go through all the things that you did, or did you pull some family members in for that?
No, actually, my oldest daughter, Alexia, she when we went down to San Antonio, she had this book that she had put together, and in this book it lists everything, not all, but just about all, everything that we fixed. And when she did that, because when she showed it to me, I was like, no way. And she started flipping through it. She said, no, Daddy. She said, you got to pay attention to this. And I was like, and I was looking. So it's over 160 items. And it's not like we fixed this. Like if you go, we had a buffet that you will fix this every day. Because some of these things now are just mainly specialty items. Like it might be a lamb chop with that smoked lamb chop on apple wood with certain deal or something over the top.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's a specialty item, because we also do, if it was a man that wanted to fix dinner for his wife or whatever, so we would actually fix that meal for them. So it would be like a specialty. Yeah.
Dude, last time I talked to you, and we were talking about Thanksgiving and all the stuff you guys are making for Thanksgiving, and it was lights out, dude. Like what you guys made was unbelievable. Now we're getting into Christmas, so we're getting. Are there any kind of specialty things that you guys are doing for Christmas? I know on the social medias, as soon as you guys posted that, I was like, Hickory, be aware. You know what I mean? Like this is happening. But did you guys come up with anything?
I don't know if it's this year we're doing anything.
Well, I'm pretty much staying with traditional sides this year: the potato salad, the southern yams dressing, giblet gravy, and he's doing the smoked turkeys and fried turkeys, and I think you're doing the deep fried chickens also,
Yeah.
and the smoked Boston butts and ribs.
Yeah.
But on my side, I'm pretty much trying to limit it down a little bit and pretty much stay a little bit traditional. But if somebody calls me and say, "Hey, can you do me a pasta, a hot pasta or a cold pasta?" I'll do it.
Yeah, man. So I saw that you guys have pickup too, like
Yes.
for Christmas.
Yes.
So are you doing pickup Christmas Day, or
Yes.
was
Yes.
that so?
Yes. Christmas Day.
And they
Yes.
where can they pick up at? Down at the address you said before,
at the
down there.
Hickory Sandwich Shop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll
That's
be
right by
there.
Speedway, right? Is that the
The
Speed?
Valero
Like right up,
next,
is that what-
Valero next door.
Yes. Yes.
Cross from there.
The hibernation station.
Yes,
is that-
yes. Hibernation Station is on the other side of us. Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
can people order that stuff? Just sort of call you. What would be the best way to contact you guys? Would it be through Facebook? Would it be just calling the number that they see? What would be the best way to contact you if they're like, man, that sounds good. I would love to try this kind of
Yes,
stuff.
they can give me a call to make an order because we're taking orders up until December the 20th.
Okay.
Yes.
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 You got to drive the Restaurant Depot between then, dude?
Yeah, a few times. A few times. We're just gonna, because it's just simpler for people to pick up on that day.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a little busy time.
You think?
Little
Have you
busy
guys been getting some orders already?
Yeah,
I
we got a
hope
few.
so, man.
Yeah, we got a few. You know.
I hope people get their orders in, man, because if you ain't cooking for Christmas with your family, I mean, if anyone were to ask me where should I go, I mean, I'm sending them to you guys.
Yeah, we do.
I mean,
because this time of year we do actually it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Because people have New Year's parties, so we do like wings for them, or sides, or like I said, one of the special dishes would be the spinach dip and the
Cheese balls or meatballs.
I got
Yeah,
you. That would
yeah.
be good if the charcuterie stuff you guys
Yeah.
are
yeah,
doing, too.
oh yeah,
It's funny. I saw the charcuterie stuff online too, and someone asked like, "How much is it?" I was like, "They've never ordered a charcuterie board in their life." like every little thing. Like even if you had a package, right? If you're like this is basic, but like the grapes, the nuts, whatever you want to get, every little thing on that board is a
Right,
different
right.
price.
Exactly.
So when people come up and they say, "I want a charcuterie board," how much? Like, dude, that's like saying I'm going to go grocery shopping.
Right, right. One thing too with catering, we will assist with people with making out their menu because some people don't have an idea of what they would
Right.
like to serve. But the first step is, what is your budget? And some people may be offended with that, but that's the first step, knowing what your budget is, and then that way we can work within your budget and let you know,
Right.
what you're looking at, and then you can tweak it a little bit to put it to where you want it.
And I think another thing that you guys do that I didn't even know was you were talking last time we spoke was about a catering gig you guys had for like 10 people and you did all seafood.
oh yeah.
But I've never seen seafood on any of your menus I'm just saying where I saw you guys because me and Jake love seafood. Jen, no seafood, like hard no. So trying to find like and then you said that you had like you did the crab legs. You
Yes,
did like this
sir.
whole event. Was it a private event
Yes.
for like one person? I said, hey, I'm bringing 10 people.
Yes.
And then they were just like, so it starts. They're just like, what's the budget? And like, dude, I want to do this.
Yes,
Great
I'm-
for 10 people. I want seafood. And then as soon as you guys make those decisions, now all of a sudden the fun can happen. And you can say, what do you want? This is the
Right,
things. But
right.
man, I saw that seafood. Man, what all did you guys do for them? It was crab. It was a lot of crab legs.
Yeah, it's called a low country boil. So it depends on what someone wants in it.
Mm-hmm.
But for this particular one, it should have been crab legs, sausage, shrimp, had some mussels, and they had oysters. The oysters was it a dozen? No, it wasn't a dozen. What, it was a half a box? So it was 50?
Yeah, it was.
So it was 50.
Yeah.
So she did the Rockefellers. You ever had that?
No. What is
Oh
it?
my God.
Dude, Educate me. You know what's happening.
So you have the oysters that's on the half shell.
Yes.
So with on the half shell, she'll put the cheese.
Yeah, I did a cream sauce
Yeah.
and the cheese on it, and I added
Yeah.
spinach in it.
Like
Yeah.
the oyster itself?
Yes.
Yes.
I only thought
Oh my God,
I've only
that's
had
so
oysters two ways. One is just raw and one is in a shot.
Oh, yeah. So you did the oyster shooters.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's it, dude. Those are
Oh,
the
yeah.
only ways
Oh, yeah.
I've had.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I've might have had them deep fried before,
Oh,
but that was about it.
This is
So,
oh my
what was it? Cheese? What kind of cheese?
I do a special. I do like a combination of cheeses in the sauce.
Yes.
And the cheese sauce
It's
with
so
the
good.
spinach.
We got to get you some of that.
Dude, but yeah, right.
Yeah,
we gotta
your,
get some of
your,
that.
I do. I'm in
your
need.
seasoning and butter.
Yes. Yeah, because you take them and you just grill them. You grill them and you season and everything. You put all the stuff that she's putting on it. Then you grill it and you just take it all this. And once it start bubbling, oh God.
Get that little crust
Dude,
over
my
the top
stomach is
of it.
growling. I mean, the mics. There's a reason why they put the mics
Yeah,
as
they're
close to
really
my
good.
face because we hear what's happening right here. Is so
Yeah.
that's. But like, I never knew you guys did. Like, it's so amazing that we sit down and we talk, and then all of a sudden I learn new things, and you and I talk pretty frequently,
Yeah.
just from we
Yeah.
see each other all the time.
Yeah.
I never knew you guys did that, man, and that's one of those things that when I heard that, I was like, so anything basically.
Yeah,
it was
we
like,
do
hey
special
man,
meals.
like
Yeah, we do special.
so whenever.
Excuse me, special meals like that. Yeah, we do.
So if I would say, hey man, I'm gonna have 10 people over,
Right.
like, what's the budget? What do you want?
Yeah.
And then
That's it.
And then it's gonna be you guys come up with just something. Now, you're there while the catering as well? Like, were you there cooking all the things?
It depends on what someone asks for. Like if it was just two people, they would ask for a meal, so we would actually come over. We'd probably cook the meal beforehand, depending on what the meal is.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it in, set it up, and serve it. And
But
then
yeah,
once
with
you get
your long country bowl is on site.
yeah, but that's why I say it just depends on what meal it is.
Yeah.
Because a meal like that we would actually come, set up, then you have your appetizers, and then we'll do the low country boil. You eat, clean up, and then we go.
Wow, man.
But what is the highlight of the bowl?
Oh, 9 times out of 10, everybody wants to come around when I pour it out. When you pour it out, because it's a boil, and you don't just throw everything in there. You put this in at one time, then you put that in, and it just keeps building until you get to the end. And then once you get to the end, then you have a table, you pour out all the food on the table.
You just dump it out.
Oh yeah, and everybody just go and get what they want.
I went to a party in Pittsburgh. It was at one of the colleges, and it was a crawfish boil. Is it sort of like?
Yes.
I mean, he had like a cauldron.
Yeah.
Of just like, I mean, he had a huge tub. I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
But he threw like potatoes,
Yes,
corn,
yes,
crawfish,
yes.
and he got them shipped
Yes.
up. He was like, I got them up here from overnighted from New Orleans. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't know, but you're right. The coolest part, like every table, there was probably 20 tables like pieced together. And he just came with like 4 dudes,
And
and
just
they
dumped
just
it all
straightened it
out.
out, and they dumped it all out.
Yeah.
And I never seen anything like that before.
It's really good eating. It really is.
Now, do you like crawfish? I can't suck the heads. Everyone's like, suck the heads. I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that.
I can eat a few. I'm not a crawfish eater. I love seafood, but that's just
Yeah.
one of the seafoods.
They say it tastes like shrimp. I don't see it.
I don't either.
How about you, Martha? Are you a big seafood person?
Yes, I love seafood.
Yeah.
My favorite are oysters. Oysters my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's my favorite.
The
That's what you
Rockefeller oysters?
Well,
Is that shooter and shooters?
Yeah. Her and her girlfriends, 9 times out of 10 when her and her girlfriends get together, so I'm in there.
Chucking? Was
Yeah,
that chucking the
the-
oysters?
Yeah, shucking the oysters, and then I put them in I have a little tray. I put the tray out, and it has their drinks in it.
Most people have deviled egg trays. You guys, your house got the oyster trays.
Yeah, man. So,
They're like Bloody Marys, right? Aren't those like sort of like a
yeah,
Bloody
because it
Mary
has
kind
at
of
one
thing?
point you could put what
It's
is it?
pretty much like the Bloody Mary mix, but you're adding the horseradish.
Horseradish.
Oh, are you a big horseradish fan? Do you like
Only in that.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of horseradish too.
And
It's
the thing about I was going to tell you because I didn't think about it, but the thing about the uh, security boards,
Mhm.
one of the things that we're trying to do for next year is to get in contact with some of the um, bars around here that just have it's just a bar, you know, it
Yeah.
doesn't have a kitchen, and see that would be one of the things that because the boards are served cold.
Oh, okay.
So they could actually have the board and just bring it out when they don't have food on site. They can just bring that out, and people could actually buy them.
Yeah, dude, that would be great. There's a lot of bars around town,
Oh,
man,
it's-
that are like
it's-
that.
it's
Because I mean, there's a lot of
Bunch.
there's
It's
a lot of
bunch.
food trucks
Yeah.
around here too. That
Yeah.
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 Yeah, man, that's great, dude. Yeah, I'm always surprised when I talk to you guys because the food that you make, and then I'm always surprised at something new that you guys are doing. And having 160 recipes in your back pocket, did you know you had that
No.
many? Right.
No, no.
You just kept.
Me and her, or between me and her, at one point, it was just, we both did everything.
Yeah.
And then at home, 9 times out of 10, I do most of the cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we know we had 3 girls back. You know, they all grown now, but you know they would help, so they all know how to cook. And but since they, you know, gone off and moved or whatever, you know, most of the times, well, majority of the time, I'm doing all the cooking at home. But it's just like a joint effort. But like Martha was explaining, it's just like we put things together now. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's even came around and said, "Well, it's time for me to get my own smoker." Yeah,
I would like to learn how to grill.
I just looked at her, I was like, "Really? Now I got to do this too? Now I gotta,
All right.
okay. I got to do this too. Now I got to show you how to smoke meats."
Mhm.
You know?
Like, all right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Hey, it's fine because then maybe I get to go somewhere and sit down.
Yeah, that ain't happening. Oh no, it's not. There's no way you're gonna find something else for you to do. Like, you want to learn how to make some ice cream, right?
Yeah. And the bread that Martha and your wife fixed,
Oh yeah,
everyone loved it.
dude. I'm telling you, man.
Yes.
We've talked multiple times. Just you and me. We're gonna act like Martha ain't here for a second, but you and I have talked so many times. Like, dude, if we just put them two in a room,
Yeah.
and just see what they came up with. Like, even now, they're like, oh, you know, Jen's doing a little bread. They're just sort of like dipping their toes in at this point. And it's like, I'm waiting for them to be like, let's go the next 3 Sundays and let's see what we come up with. Like, because I feel like that's where it's heading.
Right.
And just see
I've got
what,
an idea.
Right.
and
I
just
already got
see
an
what
idea.
happens. Dude.
Right. When
already got
I've
an
told
idea.
people that I want to learn how to make bread, people look at me like, "Are you kidding me?" You know, just learning new
Yes.
things and enjoying food, I guess.
Yes.
What I'm really, when you guys say, I'm really jealous of one thing, and maybe it's because you guys are a little further down the road than I am. You said you have 3 daughters; they all cook. What's that like? Like when you guys went down to San Antonio, what are those meals like? What are those smiles? What are those? Because I feel like in 2024, everyone's just sort of just trying to get by, go to the nearest food, the easiest options. But when you sit down, like I can't imagine you guys
No.
sitting down with your daughters and your families and sitting down. First of all, that food is lights out, okay? And then the family aspect around the food. And I think that's what a lot of people, when they see food, like, oh, they cook food. It's like, no. It's embedded in them. It's in the family. It makes everybody come to the certain place, come to the kitchen, come out and be part of it. And I just, when you guys said you're down San Antonio, I was like, I can't imagine like the smiles that you guys are having. You're talking about the 160 recipes. Like your daughter are the one that separated all that for you. So there is just such a beautiful culture with the food that you guys have made yourselves. And now you've passed it down to that. And I think that I commend you guys for that because I want that with my kids.
Right, right. And one thing is so different with all three of our daughters. We have the youngest one, she's vegan. Her and her family are vegan. So we had to do the vegan side.
See, but right there, right from you just saying it wasn't like, ew, they're vegan. Like, what are they? Which I'm sure may have been the initial thought. But instead of that, you're like, how can we alternate it so she not is excluded from almost like the family? Because if you're not in the meals,
Right,
you know what I mean? If you're not going to be in the kitchen
exactly.
cooking, then you're sort of like
some of those
excluded.
meals,
Exactly.
some of them taste just like, if you didn't know it was vegan, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't
Right.
be able to tell.
And you know, I think too that word vegan,
really
some
crazy.
people they're like, they hear the word vegan like, oh my God, vegan. But it's just how you season the food.
Yep.
And a lot of dishes you cannot tell the difference. If someone didn't know that it didn't have butter in it, it has plant-based butter.
Right.
But it's still seasoned.
Mm-hmm.
Like
There's just you can't tell it.
It
Some people say, well, I don't eat vegan food. Well, you just had sweet potatoes that didn't have didn't have dairy, didn't have butter. It had plant-based butter, but it was still seasoned exactly the same way if I had used dairy.
What was the two dishes that Alexa fixed? He was asking about the food.
She did she did a chickpea soup with shiitake mushrooms.
dynamite.
The soup was out of sight. And then our middle daughter, she's pregnant, so she can't have gluten.
It was the paste one. I can't remember that. That's the one I'm talking about. In the bowl that she put it in the bowl, she was sitting there cooking it for like 45 an hour.
That was a soup.
But one was it was like a paste.
That was a soup.
Oh.
And then it had the mushroom. You talking about the mushroom cream she had to go over the top of it.
Oh yeah.
My mouth was watering.
Man, it's just,
So our middle daughter's gluten free, so we did gluten free.
She is or another.
The middle daughter's
The middle daughter.
Yeah. So we did gluten free dishes, and so that was her first time doing gluten free.
Mm.
And our oldest daughter, she doesn't eat pork, and so everything it was like
everything had to be
together.
shifted.
Mirrored together.
Yeah.
And so, when we do the food truck, we have the warning on the truck, something may not have seafood in it, but at some time there will be, things prepared with seafood or, people have shellfish allergies or peanut allergies.
Yeah.
And you have to put that cautionary warning up there,
So that's just like for Thanksgiving, you have to put a little warning up.
Yeah, a little message, just let people know.
Yeah,
But
this is yours. This is yours.
But like that is such a missed art. The art of, I'm such a nerd for things like this, is the creation of things.
Right.
You guys are artists, whether you want to admit it or not. Your creation, you were coming together and creating things. Whether that's food, whether that's a podcast, whether that's a girl downtown Hickory called Happy Sips, Katie. She's down there making her coffee menu with 8 different hot chocolates, and she has a blowtorch melting the mushrooms on top. It's like those are my people.
Yes,
the people that are trying new things, that are not afraid to just say, well, I just you very easily could have just been like, no, like this is what we make, this is how we make it, because your food's that good. But you didn't. You knew that if you didn't do this, they might not be in the kitchen. They might not, you know what I mean? Those little things. And that's what, I'm trying to do with my kids. They're teenage boys and things, but I want them to be incorporated in the food because they eat it. They know how good it is. They know what it is.
Right.
But I feel like that's missing in households. And maybe I'm just showing my age, but I think that's missing tremendous amount in the culture that we're living in.
Right.
Yeah.
And just like with our granddaughter, she's 2 years old, but she knows avocados.
Does she really?
Garlic, onions.
Seasoning. She would say, I got a seasoning, Mama.
Yeah, seasoning.
MJ, I got a seasoning. And then she'll get the seasoning. Because her mother bought her a chair. Well, it's a it's not a high chair, but it's a chair for kids to come in the kitchen, and then they can you come up from the backside, and you can stand in it, and it's got it surrounds them. So when her grandmother is in the kitchen, she can get in that chair
And be like,
and
the
right there
counter,
beside it.
and
She
she's
has her
got her
own
own
little knives.
her little knife and
Yeah,
cutting
because it
board.
won't cut you, won't cut
Right.
her. It's like a little cutting board, and so she can actually take it and cut whatever she wants
Her
on the
vegetables
board,
and
and
mushrooms
then
and
they
stuff.
put it over in the thing for her. So she's learning early.
oh, I mean, early.
Yeah, I mean
Yes.
it's just like my grandmother. My grandmother, she told me when I was younger, and just like with your sons, they got to learn how to defend
Yes.
for themselves.
Yeah.
And my grandmother told me, I can sew. I can sew. I can sew. I can cook, wash clothes, clean up. I know how to do it because it's an older age,
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's good for males to know that,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you can take care of yourself
Yeah.
at a certain point. You just don't want to not know certain things. You got to eat.
Right, dude. Right.
You got to eat. So at least know how to fix other than just boiling water.
At least know what you like too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's
Yes.
all part of the journey, dude.
Yes,
It's not.
Yes.
I understand people love their chicken fingers, dude. I get it, but
yeah.
and the most adventurous they get is like, I'm gonna get Polynesian sauce today. You know what I mean? You're like,
Yeah.
like, dude, what are you
No,
talking
no,
about?
no,
That's
no.
not like
No.
that's not a food choice to me.
No.
You know what
no,
I mean?
No.
Yeah, dude. I just miss hearing people talking about food, because when you talk about food, it's like, oh, you want the Culvers, or you want the Checkers, or you want, and so like there's so many fast food places down here.
No.
And it's like, but when you say what's your favorite place to eat, it's one of my favorite questions to ask anybody in Hickory. Where do you want to eat? And most of the time it's like Golden Corral or a fast food place. And then just like you, I'm just like, what are we doing?
Right,
Like, why ain't?
exactly.
And then when they say, well, what about you? I'm like, home. Like, home is
Exactly.
my favorite place to eat. So when someone says, let's go out to eat, it's like, I'm going to go pay for food. Like, the best part about that meal is going to be I don't have to clean up after it. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to be the food. It's not going to, and that's not knocking what they're doing.
No, it's not.
It's
No,
just
it's
what
not.
I'm used to.
Right,
From
exactly.
living with Jen. You know what I mean? With
Exactly.
what she's going to make. Whatever she makes in 20 minutes is going to be exponentially better than, and you guys, same way.
Exactly.
Well,
And
that
that's-
goes. You remember yesterday? Not to cut you off, but you remember yesterday? There was a lady that came over. Never seen this lady before.
when we're at the downtown Hickory.
The
farmer's market.
Yeah, she came over. So she was getting. She actually got the last thing of Brunswick stew, right?
Yes.
So she got the last one, and she was like, "Yeah." And she was standing there. And she was like, "Her wife was dipping it out." And she said, "Well," she said, "Go ahead and scrape it all out of the bottom of the pan," because she had a little sample. And my wife scraped it out of the thing. She's got the third. She did 16 ounce
Yes.
and 32.
Oh,
ounce.
she was.
The,
So she got the 32 ounce.
Yeah.
So she was standing there talking. She got that, and she got some barbecue, and then she just kept adding on stuff. And so we was talking. And one of the things that stuck with me that she said, here in Hickory, it's people's palate. Because she named a couple of restaurants. I won't name none of the restaurants.
She moved here from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And she named those, and she was like, "That's a joke. I can't believe they eat,
This
people
all the
eat
time.
this.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't believe they go here. I can't believe that." And she's been here.
Right.
And like she said, it's the palate of a person.
Yeah.
What they've been exposed to.
And they say
yes.
that this here is good. And she was like, "I went with my girlfriends and we, such and such, and
Just ain't it.
She
Yeah.
said her husband was like, "Can't believe you did that." I was just standing in the back, just laughing. I was like, she was like, "Do you know what I mean?" I said, "I have nothing to say." I said, "I don't knock nobody's stuff." I say, "I have nothing to say," but it's just a difference,
Right.
as far as our stuff,
And with us working on the food truck, some people they say, "Well, I'd never go eat at a food truck," and so that sticks in your mind too. It's like, well,
Right.
the food that we prepare on the food truck is still going to be fresh ingredients, something wholesome for you to come and enjoy. And it just goes back to the preparation of the food, freshness, and the food being seasoned correctly. And, we do different items for the food truck, but we kind of try to stick with the smoked pork and the smoked chopped chicken sliders. Those have been hits, so we've kept those, and we've done the
nachos.
the
that you guys
nachos.
do are unreal, dude.
We had
Nachos are
kept the
really good.
nachos on there. But I do the chicken when I do the chicken and dumplings, green beans, collards, sweet potatoes. Add those items on the food truck, rotating. We pretty much have a rotating schedule menu, and it's not a set menu. Try to rotate the menu.
Even like the nachos that I got, which I thought, again, from you guys, I just thought it was going to be the nachos, the pulled pork. Like, I that's what I thought I was getting, right? And I was fine with that. Believe me, I was coming to get. But you put like a fresh salsa on top of that, too? What was that? Was that like.
The fresh pico de gallo and the fresh black bean salad.
Yeah.
Right.
Fresh ingredients.
But that proves my point where it's like, I went in thinking I was getting this. I know you guys are incredible cooks. I know, like, oh, you have nachos. That's cool. And it's like, oh, it's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be. And then when I got it, I was like,
These ain't nachos.
dude, this is like, this is amazing, dude.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was like,
Appreciate it.
yeah. And it's like all of a sudden I'm out here with a fork. You know what I mean? Your boy ain't.
Yeah, you got to have a fork with them. You have to have a fork with them.
Now all of a sudden that becomes a process.
You want
man.
to take a dish, it's just, you take a dish, any dish, whether it be with just the meat and putting a different seasoning or the nachos, adding to it, you want to take it to another level.
Yeah.
And you want to have it every time, have it meet that level.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just the difference.
That's just the love that you guys
Right,
have. That's for the
right.
love of the game. Like,
Right.
that's
And-
what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I
And
mean?
one of the items that I've tried to keep was the curried mashed sweet potatoes. Some people like curry. And that kind of, because they really haven't had
Right,
that
right.
seasoning before. But once they try them, they're like, oh my God, these sweet potatoes are so good. And so we've kept those on the menu with the pork sliders and the smoked chopped chicken sliders. You get that side of sweet potatoes, curried sweet potatoes.
How many times do you get like, what's in this? Like with the sweet, it has to be the first thing people, because like, sweet potatoes. You're like, I'm not a big sweet potato fan. And I'm
Yeah.
not, right?
Yeah,
I'm not. But it's
yeah.
like, all right, let's try the sweet potatoes. And the same thing happened. It was just like, what is in this? And then you said curry. I was like, I'm not even a fan. But you knew that like you were willing to give it a shot. Right. And then once you were willing to give it a shot, it tasted pretty good.
Right,
Then
right.
you gave it a shot on the menu. Like there's a lot of times that decision could have just been like, no, let's just do traditionals. Like
Right,
let's
right.
just do what the people like and just, but you guys don't. And
No.
yeah, and
No.
that's
No.
And
We try
that's
to
what
give
makes it
something
good.
different. Try to give you something different. I mean, because you can go anywhere. Even which you can go anywhere and just get regular sweet potatoes.
right.
It's just like with the potato wedges. You can go anywhere and get potato wedges.
I still
But-
haven't had them.
You haven't?
That's right, dude.
Really?
You and I have had this conversation, and you answered me every time just like that in shock because I've never had them, dude. You're like, dude.
He's never had
Yeah,
that?
because you wouldn't even tell me about like the potato because you were like, Chris, I can't even tell you where I get the potatoes.
No, I can't tell you that. No, I can't tell you that. No.
But no, I've never had the potato wedges.
They have potatoes here. They have, and those that are smothered, those are the ones you have got to. Oh my God, oh God.
You see these faces?
Because it has the potato wedges by themselves. I've been told they're pretty
pretty on
good.
point. Yeah,
Yeah.
shocker.
So it's just like your nachos.
Mm-hmm.
You can get them basically like that.
Dead stop.
Yeah. So you can get it smothered with pork, chicken, brisket. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then have the pico and stuff. With the cheese. Yeah, man. But that's just odd. All the places we
That's
don't
what I'm saying.
I can't believe you ain't.
I'm only on
You know what?
like 37 of the 160. I'm
Well,
still working my way up.
That's probably because at one point we did stop because we changed over to the sliders, and
Yes.
then we was doing this, and we try to keep it to a cost point because some people don't understand you can only fix so much at a certain price.
Yes.
That's one of the
100%.
other. That's one of the things that others, people just don't understand. You can't throw everything out there. And sometimes you have to take something off to add something,
Right.
and you have to keep it in that certain. Because we want to put. If you spend $15 for a plate, we want you to spend the $15 because you can go to McDonald's. Well, you can go to some other place and spend $15,
Right.
but we want you to at least enjoy the food and be full.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know? So we have to do that.
I think it goes back to what Martha said about the food truck, right? When people are like, I'm not going to eat at the food truck because it's a food truck.
Right.
It's like, yeah, it's sort of like marketing where it's like you can do a publication or you can do digital or you can put like, there's such an umbrella underneath all that. And it's like, you just haven't found what works yet. You know what I mean? Don't knock. You gotta, I tell my kids, they're up at bats, dude. Like they're not going to be home runs every time. You need to go try something and do it.
Right.
So if you go to a food truck and you don't like their food, that's just that food truck,
Right,
guys.
exactly.
Like it's not the same thing.
It's not everybody.
Exactly.
And if you find yourself going to multiple food trucks and having terrible experiences, I think you got to look within. You know what I mean? Where it's like, what am I doing to think that like I'm going like if I went to 3 food trucks and none of them were good, the next food truck I'm going to, I'm probably going to look them up. I'm just throwing it out like I am.
Right, exactly.
So to group you guys in with that kind of like just broad kind of thinking like, oh, it's a food truck. It's like, yeah, but they're completely different. Everybody's completely
Exactly.
different.
Everybody
You can't put all food trucks under an umbrella
Right.
No.
like that. Just
Right,
like you can't do
exactly.
that with restaurants. You can't do
Exactly.
that with car dealerships. You can't
No.
do that with anything. So
No.
why are we standing our ground on food trucks don't have
Right,
good food? It's
right.
crazy. We went to one. It was like a lobster food truck. I guess they were on like Shark Tank or something. I didn't know anything about it. It's just that we didn't for Jake's birthday.
Oh.
We were looking. He wanted to go like somewhere for seafood, and we saw that there was a food truck. It was like a main food truck. I don't know what it was, but he did the research on it, and he was like, "Dad, I want to go try it."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But think of it. Out of all the stuff out of a food truck, you eating lobster? Most of the time, you're like, no, like that's on something.
Right,
But I'm
right.
saying the general
Yeah.
thought is like,
Right,
there's no
right.
reason.
Exactly.
We went there. It was dynamite, and I happily paid like the $23
Right,
or
right,
whatever
exactly.
it was.
That's
Because then you start talking, and it's like, oh, we have this wherever we go. We have a 2-day. They ship it in, and where we're gonna be at. He was like, it is so fresh,
Right.
that's the main thing.
right? And then all of a sudden, they're like, oh, it's a food truck. Like that's just because where they're serving it is wheels.
Right,
Like that's
right.
the only
Exactly.
difference, dude.
Exactly.
The only
Oh,
difference.
so frustrating.
The
Yeah.
only
Exactly.
difference. Yes, it is.
And you guys touched on something too that was about how you always try to improve. You see a dish, you try to improve in it. And we were talking earlier about our kids and those kind of things. And I tell them all the time, if you can just stack, no matter what it is, no matter if it's food, no matter if it's school, no matter if it's just you being a nice person, there's the 2 most important words for me in the English language are and but. Jake's a good kid, and he carries in groceries, and he's nice to Rodney, and he helps, and he does these things, right?
Right.
The more you hear and, the more you're like, oh, okay, and I'm going to play football, and I'm doing wrestling, and the other word is, but my grades are bad. You hear like how that just changes everything.
Right.
And you guys, just from talking about food, it's like it's a good dish. And we're going to add this. And we're going to try this. And we're going to... So when I say you guys are creators, man, you really are. You're artists at
Thank
what
you.
you guys
Thank you.
do.
Thank you.
And at some And if anyone gives you crap about a food truck, dude, just tag me in the post, dude. I would love to talk to them and
No.
ask them about what they're
That's
doing.
okay. That's
and
okay.
see what they're eating. You know
That's
what I mean?
okay.
But I think that what you guys do, man, is especially for small businesses that are looking to try something else. You guys
Right.
did you guys went to Northview and did cooking there, and that was homemade. Like I saw what
Yeah.
you guys had. It wasn't like we're gonna fire up a tray of Stofers or something, or you go to I ran a grocery store for 24 years, and it's like when somebody wanted catering, it was like, okay, but the mac and
coming.
cheese is
Yeah.
probably Stouffer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
like that's what you. But they knew that and they got it.
Right.
But when it comes to you guys and what you do, man, I know that every single dish,
It's homemade.
it's homemade.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And people are like,
It's homemade.
it's how much money? It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
because we made it homemade.
Yeah, it's homemade. I mean, it's a difference.
There is a
And
difference.
It's not opening. Even with tea, just regular tea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still difference. We have to use the tea bags. Okay, we have to use tea bags, but it's just the way that and the ingredients that she actually adds to it.
Right.
It's
Right.
different
Right? It's that every time.
every time.
And you guys have had such a long time of cooking together with your families, cooking together with just the two of you. I mean, how often? Every 7 days a week. How many days you cooking together? All 7?
Well, like I said, I do most of the cooking.
Right.
I do most of the cooking. Well, I do all of the cooking. Let's be real.
Well, yes, but if our girls say that they're coming home, then I will get in there and
Did you hear
But
that? Did you hear that?
Dude,
on a regular
If
basis.
crystal clear, dude.
On
The
a
girls
regular
come
basis.
home, then she dusts her apron off and cooks. So, like I said, Alexia, Brianna, Imani, when they come home, that's when they
That's when
get enjoy. But see, I
kiss the
feel
cook apron comes
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
But I did cook for you.
when?
What? I made you that chili,
Oh yeah,
the turkey chili.
yeah. You made me some turkey chili. Yeah,
I
that was
did.
good. Yeah, that was really good.
Shocker. Shocker.
It was really good.
Well, man, before we head out, there's a question because me and my wife were talking about this the other day.
Right.
I wish there was an app that people like Jen, people like you guys. It's almost like how they have DoorDash. It's almost like
Right.
I can't come up with a term because I'm gonna get yelled at. But it's
Right.
almost like a not grandma on demand, but like
That sounds
somebody
good.
that comes to cook in your house,
That sounds
cleans
good.
up, and it's just like, hey, Monday night, we got Martha and Rodney coming over. They're gonna cook us a meal, and then sort of just come into their house and just sort of because I was like, I would pay for that.
Oh, Grandma
Like-
on Demand sounds good.
Like grandma on demand, but like
Yes, it
Jen
does.
didn't think it was funny. You know what I mean? She was like, I ain't no grandma. I'm like, oh, you're
but
trying-
still, it's not.
But it's the cook. It's the
Right,
idea
exactly.
of it.
Grandma
It's
means
grandma's recipe.
that grandma's gonna come in and make it all right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's how you have to look at it.
Yeah. We're going to have to end this show quickly because we don't want anyone else to monetize our ideas.
Yes.
Because every time I say it, Jen's like, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
No,
Because she's like, you
you
have
gotta
to
think
do
about
like
it.
background checks. I said, but you know what? I would be willing to do that.
Right.
Because if I could if you're like, oh, I'm going out to anywhere to eat, right? With my
Exactly.
3 boys, it's going to be $150.
Of course.
Right. And if I was like,
Exactly.
oh, I want to make this dinner for $200 and then they can come and cook it here for us and
Exactly.
dinner's at 6, dude, ship it, dude.
Exactly.
How many times have you been to a restaurant with your family and was disappointed and you walk out of there like $160, $180? Like,
Yeah.
and
I'd
you're
rather
like,
just broke my hand or something.
Yeah, you're just
Like-
like, I could have just.
What could you have made for $160?
Oh,
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what gets me
Right.
is when you pay the bill and you're like, the best thing I got out of this was I didn't have to do dishes. Like, that was the best thing I got
Right,
out of
right.
it. It wasn't, I'm right there with you. Well, Let's wrap this up because
Okay.
we're gonna hammer this out. Because I'm happy that someone finally agreed with me. That's one of my crazy ideas. This is a grandma on demand, dude. That's what's
Sounds
up.
good. We gotta look at that.
But where can people find you guys over the next couple weeks? Because I know you guys are going to be slinging stuff for Christmas, man. Online, you guys are very active on Peg's Catering. You guys share it as well, Rodney and Martha. You guys share it. Are you guys going to be at any farmers markets or anything else coming
Yeah,
up?
this Saturday we will be at the Hickory Downtown Farmers Market. The winter market runs from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on
Right.
Saturdays.
Mhm.
And then we can be found at the Hickory Sandwich Shop. The new name that's on there now is Catawba Commissary.
Good type of commissary.
But
Same
building,
the
same
marquee
building.
on the road is Hickory Sandwich Shop. The big marquee on the road is Hickory Sandwich Shop.
Do you guys still have the yard sign outside?
For turkeys.
Yeah.
I think I took it down because I was leaving, so I took it down. But we'll be doing Christmas dinners, and for New Year's, anyone needs for New Year parties.
They can
I
just
guess
call
size.
you.
Yeah, size. Yeah,
Like just
size.
call and what you want.
Yeah, size, and they can just give us a call.
And then
prepare.
Christmas, you guys are actually working Christmas Day for
Yes.
the pickups.
Yes.
Yes.
For,
Christmas
and it's
Day.
going to be right down at the Catawba Commissary, right
Right.
down there. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for,
No, we
for
appreciate
coming
you.
by,
Yes,
man.
thank
You
you
know,
for
I love,
having us.
Yes.
we
you.
see you all the time, man. And every time I talk to you and we talk food, I mean, that's what we talk about. We
Yeah.
sit down on
Yeah.
the bed of my truck and we talk about some
Talk
food and,
Yes. Yes.
and school and all those things that are
Mhm.
Hickory, man. So, but thank you guys for coming by,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you guys so much. And man, we'll see you guys next week. And for the love of the game, do something that puts a smile on your face. Have a good one.